This is a Pub in the Life. So, today, quick one on this Friday. We are actually right here doing an emergency cake. I am not even kidding. This is really an emergency cake. Now, what does an emergency cake look like? It is an after 8 cake, also called 7 cups cake. Not 2 girls, 1 cup, actually 7 cups cake. Which actually means that's quite easy to make. But there is a catch. Why is it so easy to make? It is easy to make because you can use without using actually without measuring the weights. You can find a way for you to measure the ingredients because there is the cup. So in theory, it is very easy to make. In practice, well, it's unfortunately not that easy, if you ask me. So why isn't that easy? So first off, let's just circle back for a second. It's not that easy because you shall I'm gonna need to understand how this word is in English. Just give me 1 second. So it's the procedure you do. It's to whisk eggs. So you need to be whisking the eggs. Therefore, you will have to really produce that thing. And without the whisking of the eggs, well, it's quite unfortunate. You shall not do basically anything. And in theory, the cake doesn't pop off as a cake. So the thing about this all is that if you start thinking about how you wanna, understand how to make this cake is very easy, but you need to whisk the eggs. And now, sometimes eggs do not whisk. It just happens. It can happen. Too much. Eggs are too cold. For example, you put too much sugar. You put the sugar before the eggs. Also, it's the egg whites, not the whole eggs. You potentially got it wrong because you didn't put lemon juice, which sometimes is needed for you to be able to produce that type of cake. So it's not a very easy procedure. You can do it electrically, but it doesn't mean that that thing is actually going to work. So today, Mom was needed to do this cake because tomorrow they have a family gathering, and unfortunately, she was the one in charge of the cake. Now, she had lots to work and everything, but she needed to bake the cake. So the cake is now in the oven. So I'm not gonna say the cake isn't actually a cake. It's probably still a cake, but there were some problems in the procedure. And so the thing is that you need to realize that sometimes, or many of the times, I would say most of the times, the things that you think are going to go in a certain way are actually not going to go in that way for many different reasons. And so if you want to really understand how to do the things, you need to get to do the things and be able to go beyond this tiny micro failures, whatever, and then try again once. Now, you might ask yourself, how many times had Mom prepared this cake before? And the answer is 1. So the first one was smooth, but she had a coach who was helping out, and so it was kind of easier. But it wasn't that easy anymore because this time she was alone. And so you can say all that you want, but basically you're never gonna find it so easy if you're doing it, in the first times. It's quite normal. But anyways, Mom got very frustrated, but at the same point, I think that the cake is gonna pop off at some point. Now, why are we talking to you about this? Because it's quite easy to get frustrated. It's quite easy to say, I'm not going to do it anymore. It's quite easy to give explanations to everything, but sometimes things just don't go as planned. This is probably the topic of today, and they don't go as planned, even though you might be just very good at planning, and you might be the best planner ever. But you know what? You will never know if you don't go, and that's why most people decide to not go. At the same time, you might lose a thing that goes well, and imagine that maybe this cake actually becomes a cake against all odds. So um, yeah, this is the podcast for today. Hopefully, you're a better baker than mom. But we try. Mom is very good on salty things, and it's not a metaphor for anything. I mean, really salty things. But yeah, hopefully this Friday gives us more joy around this cake, and you know, on the ability to really, as we say in Italian, bring this home. Anyways, I hopefully the day's work day is over, but we'll see. For now, I will send you lots of kisses, hugs, and a bit of barks, and probably even a piece of cake if we are going to be able to make it tasty, real good. Ciao!